This is the Huawei Mate Pro versus Google Pixel 2 XL versus Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus camera comparison. Huawei Mate Pro is our current champion in camera comparisons, but some say that the Google Pixel 2 XL has the best camera. But then Samsung introduced the new dual aperture dual camera. But which one is the best? Let's find out. Mate Pro won the last comparison against the iPhone X and the Galaxy Note 8. How will like a setup in combination with the AI do against two tough competitors? Also, you know Mate Pro's camera packs a lot of features and modes, so if you are into photography, you will like this bloated camera app. I just want to mention that I use the vivid color profile for the sake of this comparison. Pixel 2 XL is a crowd favorite in the tech reviewers community. With only one camera, it has everything that a dual camera's phone do, maybe even better. But the app is pretty basic, with only few modes and settings. You don't even get a real gallery app, only the Google Photos, which in my opinion is one great mess of an app. Galaxy S9 Plus comes with a dual camera setup and with a dual aperture lens, and a 2x optical zoom, 4K video at 60 frames per second, a super slow-mo, augmented reality, and a lot of other features. We can see three completely different strategies here, but how they compare? You've seen the front camera videos and heard the sound from these three. Galaxy S9 has the best image quality and can shoot in 1440p while other two can't. Pixel 2 XL and the Mate Pro are comparable, but Pixel 2 XL can record only mono audio, so a win for Samsung, then Huawei, and Pixel is in third. Now these are the main camera videos at 1080p and 30 frames per second. Galaxy S9 Plus is surprisingly shaky, but the picture quality is better than the other two phones. Pixel 2 XL has the best stabilization, but I prefer the overall look of the Huawei Mate Pro. For autofocus, it's pretty close. Samsung wins on a tight margin. The 960 FPS video from Samsung is just unbeatable in this comparison. Pixel 2 is second because of the sharpness and quality. Huawei comes last. Now for the stills. Let's start with front cameras and selfies. Again, three different approaches here. Huawei favors the subject and exposes everything so that the face is well exposed, but you lose a lot of background. Just like Samsung, it tries to make you look beautiful even with the beauty mode off, but Samsung does have a better dynamic range here. Pixel is technically the winner here, but the face is too dark and the contrast is so strong, so I prefer Samsung here. Same situation in the next comparison, but this time with a portrait mode on, and the Pixel is way too dark. I even like Huawei's photo better, but Samsung is the winner. In this photo, Huawei is on top because of that subject-oriented exposure. This is a selfie at the end, and you want your face to be the main focus area. Finally, a situation where Pixel's HDR shines. No doubts here. And for the next one, the details in the sky are superb, the colors are accurate, and the face is well exposed. Samsung comes in second. For low-light selfies, Pixel is the winner obviously, and Samsung is dead last. With a screen flash on, Samsung and Huawei are brighter, but with more details, Pixel 2 XL is the winner. Samsung is just too awkward in these kind of shots. Let's switch to the main cameras and bokeh effect. Pixel is a bit zoomed in, Samsung even more. It's hard to take a selfie with a back camera. All three cut the subject perfectly, too much color in Huawei and the AI didn't help here. So for details and contrast, Pixel wins. Now an interesting scenario, Samsung favored the face to a point of overexposure, but the photo is nicer than Pixel's. even though Pixel's photo is technically better. Huawei is wider than the others, but the AI made a mess here, underexposing the entire scene. Tried to put the photos on the same levels with a little bit of editing, but the end result is the same. And here's a photo where Huawei's aesthetics rock the stage. Definitely a social media sharing worthy picture. Sadly, Samsung even failed to focus here. The Pixel is excellent, but Huawei's photo is wider and kinda better. If you go a bit further from the subject, Pixel 2 didn't even apply the bokeh effect. The photo is nice though, but Samsung is the winner here because of the dynamic range and a slightly better subject separation. Now this is a difficult scenario for every phone. Pixel 2 again too harsh with the HDR, too much flares on the Huawei, and Samsung wins. Again a wide portrait shot, and Pixel ignored the comments. Huawei did mess up the cutting, but you can edit that after you take the shot. Samsung's photo is great, but I really don't like the crop factor here. And then it refused to blur the background here. Pixel 2 XL tried, but failed almost miserably. An obvious win for Huawei here. Huawei's AI feature can create some really artistic photos, but it's not very consistent and it's too much sometimes. The Pixel 2 XL is just too flat here, so an obvious win for Samsung. But most of the time, no phone can beat the Pixel in HDR. Clearly the sharpest shot with the best dynamic range. And again the same thing, the sharpest photo with the best HDR. And here's a situation where Huawei's AI improved the overall look of the photo, while the Pixel 2 XL is again too flat for this kind of shots. And again, the AI being inconsistent, and the always-on HDR on Samsung and Pixel made much better photos here. In panorama mode, Pixel's HDR makes it winner almost every time. In this second shot, Huawei is better than Samsung and it has a taller photo. Galaxy S9 Plus has a 2x optical zoom lens. Huawei Mate Pro has a hybrid zoom option, while Pixel 2 is left with only digital zoom. And it shows, Huawei is always sharper and with less noise than Pixel, but the Samsung is an obvious winner here. Now this is a tricky one. The sign really looks the best in Pixel's photo, but colors are incorrect. Huawei represents the reality best here, and is the brightest and the sharpest. For indoors, Huawei's artificial intelligence tried something and succeeded, kinda, but the Pixel has the realistic colors and better dynamic range. Samsung is my least favorite here. For the next photo also, Samsung is just not sharp enough and the colors are off. Pixel 2 is sharper overall, but the focus is here on the clock, and it looks sharper and better on Huawei. For close-ups, it's really back and forth, it's a matter of personal preference. In both shots, Samsung has the best dynamic range, and in the other one, the Huawei actually looks better than the Pixel. Photos or food is where Huawei shines every time. The Play just looks better than the others. The Pixel is way too cold, the Samsung is way too warm, but it actually looks better than the Pixel, really. So an obvious win for Huawei, Samsung is second. In night mode, the wider aperture on Samsung really comes in handy. The Pixel is soft and lacks details. It really has trouble focusing. Pixel lacks Pro mode, so Huawei and Samsung just destroy Pixel in this kind of situations. Even if Huawei isn't the brightest photo, it's sharper with more details, and it also has the longer exposure times in the Pro mode. To get things straight, without Pro mode, Pixel is sometimes better than the other two, like in this shot of the night sky. But otherwise, Huawei's Pro mode is just unbeatable. But in extreme low light, Samsung is brighter, but very soft and the colors are off. On Pixel's photo, there is a laser focus light present. Huawei is the darkest, but the colors are on point and the sharpness is excellent. On these two photos, you can see the value of having a proper Pro mode. In extreme darkness, Huawei produces a photo that looks like it's taken in a good lighting conditions. And that's it. Now let's sum up the scores. I'm gonna skip the formulas and arithmetics, and believe it or not, Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus took the first place by a tight margin. Huawei Mate 10 Pro is second, and the Pixel 2 XL is in third place. These scores are pretty surprising for me too, but that's how it is. These three are pretty close, so this comparison could have gone different. You can write your winners in the comments. My general thoughts are that the Pixel 2 XL is really a one-trick pony. It has the best selfie cam and the selfie portrait mode. mostly thanks to that HDR feature. Huawei Mate 10 Pro is an all-around camera, so you can do wonders with it, but sometimes the AI just ruins the photo. Samsung also has a very versatile camera. It does a lot of things very good. It's not the best in everything, but overall it's a new champ, and will face the P20 Pro in our next comparison. Till the next time, thanks for watching.